small trick. Like I put some perfume in my towels because if you use your senses, like if you blowing in your fingers, it brings you back to the here and now. And I also put the perfume in my towel to smell it. Then I'm like, oh, it smells nice. I'm back.
Fascinating.
So
We've not heard that tip before. Here we are then, guys. So, Britt, welcome to the podcast.
Yes, thank you for inviting me.
We're out here at Singapore Smash, obviously. You've just had your training session, right?
Yes, with Pritika. It was always nice to practice with her.
Awesome. And obviously you're going to be starting the event soon, right?
Yes, I am. We don't know when yet. We know the draw, though. I play Yang Zi from Australia. So I've played her in German League. We had really nice matches. So for sure it would be a nice match.
Okay, nice.
Enjoying it out here in Singapore?
Yes, I am. I brought my baby with me and my father came here to see and join us. So if my family's here, I'm always good.
Yeah, that's really nice. And congratulations now on mother.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
How much has that changed kind of you in your career and like balancing it? Because now you're out here and it's impressive what you're doing.
Thank you. But it's hard to balance it. But I would say like I'm even more passionate now about table tennis because I appreciate the time I have with it. So I'm really enjoying it mostly now.
Amazing. How could you get any more passionate? You were so passionate before you had a baby. Wow.
Yes. I think like also the appreciation I have time for it. I can make it. My family is helping me out. So I feel like if I'm in the hall now, it has to be good or enjoyable or it has to be like very pragmatical, like you have to make the right thing. So I feel I use my time better now than before.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sometimes I think just even not being an athlete, but just in general, it makes you do that. Like when you have kids, right? Obviously, we've both got kids now, and you really like appreciate the time.
The value of time is crazy.
It makes you value time a lot more. You're like 1 hour. I can do a million things in 1 hour. It's amazing.
This is the problem. You think, okay, I got 1 hour. What am I gonna do?
Yeah. And then you just watch Netflix.
Wow.
But no, I mean, I think obviously it is a big change, but at the same time, there are plenty of women who've come back to like, not necessarily table tennis, but other sports and come back to a high level. And obviously you're showing, it can be done. You've back to,
it's shown, yes. And I also like spoke to different athletes in the Netherlands, one from judo and one from I don't know in English, but from other sports. And it's nice to like share the stories, even though like some things are the same, but some things they did differently, and to learn from each other and how to do it and to come back. It also gives you confidence, like what you said, like it is possible to come back. So that's really nice to have this. Yes.
Sure. And like, I remember you train so hard. You really work hard.
Thank you.
And do you think that's just been like your major contributing factor to becoming world class? You're a European finalist. You've done it a lot in this game.
Yes. Yes, but I would even say because I enjoy it a lot. Like I think it's also important that you play with a ball, like you know what a ball can do.
Yeah.
So even though when you're playing and still enjoying it and working hard, like this combination you want to be in the hall. And I think that's really nice. And sometimes I also got the time to have some time with my coach to talk about table tennis. So not only like you should do this or this, but really like, okay, if this happens, what can we do? Like looking for solutions. So I like to play the game. Let's say it like this. Yes.
That's awesome.
I think like that's kind of coming more and more now. If you look at someone like Truls, he's very like, he likes to play the game. Do you know what I mean? He's like creative and
like yes.
He's like you said, he's like finding different ways, how different solutions, what he can do to win points. It's not just backhand, forehand, robotic. He's doing different things. To be creative.
I'd love to know though, what sort of things then have you discussed with your coach, and you've gone, oh, this is a good idea. Let's just do this.
You might not be able to give away the secrets.
Yeah, but I can give you an example though. So not the secret, but an example.
Oh, okay, nice.
Like I was now practicing with Pritika, and I played her the first time, and I couldn't receive her serve. Like how she do it with the side spin. So of course, obviously with the down and the up, but she makes even more the side, so the ball really bounces away. And I could not receive it because I was always going inwards and the ball goes out. So I was thinking like maybe I can receive it outwards, but if I do this, most coaches look at me like, no, you should go against it, not outwards. And then I felt like to my coach, like, let's play with this, like how do you think I touch it? Should I wait? Should I like how the ball comes? And I'm like, yeah, maybe if you wait, you can throw it like next to it. And then I was like, oh, if I step back, I have even more space to play like this. And it was really strange, but it worked. So and now I can really put it out to the ball against the lefty. So that's perfect.
Wow,
yeah, like wide in their forehand as well, right?
And but with the side against it.
Going out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But almost everybody always says, no, go against it. So it's nice to say, okay, we don't go we don't take the rules. Let's see what is possible. So have an open mindset in this kind of conversations.
Yeah, you know, I hate playing lefties. Can you give me a bit more information on this? This is very interesting. I need to learn this. Honestly, I'm like, So
you don't like the return. You don't like returning with your forehand, right?
No, and that's why it's interesting because Timo's a lefty, and when he's up against right-handers, he's kind of got the same sort of thing,
He can
right?
do this
He does it amazing. He's got a video talking about it. So when you're coming in, then normally players, you said go against
Go
it.
against it. Yes.
Okay. Then it just pops up.
Yes.
And then you're on the back foot lobbing.
Like it started more like sometimes a defense as well to get the feeling.
Yeah.
And you see like Gapanova before the defense is like with the sides. And if you are late for the ball, you can still catch it to the side at the end.
Yeah.
And so now sometimes I'm doing this on purpose. Okay, step away, you're too late. So you have to go to the sides.
Yeah.
So be late.
I like it.
Just slow down and just wait down. Just be a bit late on the ball.
Yes, exactly.
So funny. It's funny though because you know that's it though. He's mentioned about trolls and other players. They're kind of going against like what the traditional philosophy is. Yeah. The textbook. You know what I mean?
But also like that's how table tennis develops, right? Like I mean, look, 10 years ago, no one was doing this backhand flick, especially not from forehand. And then you know maybe not 10 years, but you know it's fairly recent thing in the game.
Coach always says like keep innovating the game.
Yeah, you have to, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
Like this flick, it just wasn't a thing, right? Backhand flick. Now.
But I think now, though, it's a disaster for backhand players because everybody started with a flick, and then when they play backhand, they only make this, so they don't let the ball come anymore to make a real top spin. Everybody's flicking now close to the table.
And it's like all this fast stuff, but not actually like power.
Yes, of course, I think it can be a good adjustment in the game. Like, and you can make slow, fast. But now people start with it, and then to go back again is more difficult. But I'm a backhand player, so I look at backhands.
But that's Dimitrov is unbelievable in that position, isn't he?
Yeah, he is though.
Plays a backhand, drops off mid-distance. It's a rocket launcher.
Yeah. Like for you step off a bit more, right? And like have a longer swing on your backhand, whereas now it's kind of like this short, like little, like tickling it.
So when you play against the youngsters coming up, do you find it challenging? Because or is it with your style it's not too bad?
Now it's okay, but in the beginning, yes. Like when we changed to the plastic ball, and this just generation who only played with the plastic ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was really in the beginning it was strange. Like what I say, the same. Like they are a little bit flicking, but also if you push, they don't let the ball come anymore. It's really like they touch it or directly or up. So sometimes in the beginning I push, I was waiting, the ball's back. Okay. So I really had to change some rhythms, but I feel now I can change a lot more. And if you have this fast bounce, and if I'm chasing a lot, there's also a high risk of making mistakes. So I found something against it, but I had to get used to it as well.
Yeah, we've talked a lot on the podcast about to other pros about like people who've only played with the plastic ball, so like the younger generation, and then people like yourself or like Timo Boll, like
Thank you.
Not so old, but you know, like even Timo's gone through, you know, even older generation than yourself, obviously, and like he's gone through loads of changes, and like, you know, like the ball being the biggest one. Yeah. But it is quite an adaptation, right? Where you have to change, you know?
Yes, adaptation.
Yeah.
But I think that's also what makes the professionals. Like if you can adapt the most, I think that's one of the highest qualities you need to have, because every tournament now again we play with a
different
ball,
table, different ball.
Yes, this ball we played 1 year ago, and during the year we didn't play. So different table, different hole. Every time you have to adapt. So also we try to practice this, but I think adaptation is really high quality you need to have if you want to become a pro.
How do you adapt? Like, is there an ability to? Do you think some players adapt better than others?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, it does seem that way sometimes.
But I think it's also very personal, though. Like for me, I really need to feel the ball, so I like to start more the slow game, like a little bit away from the table, make more spins, or the chop and the spin, so I can feel how the ball bounces, how it bounces in the hole. Sometimes if my coach is here and I cannot understand, I ask him, how does it bounce? Like, what can I do with this kind of bounce? So yeah, this is really nice. But I feel like some other players, they do more the routine-matic exercise, like back
drills,
and middle, back and forth, and then they can feel it that way. But if I would just drill myself, then I would be like, okay, I'm not thinking, I'm just playing. And I really want to think, to feel, play with the ball again, then I can see how it bounces. So this is for me, but I don't know for others, but this is how we did it.
Interesting, yeah.
I think, like, again, it comes to, like, every player has to kind of find their own way, right? Like, for you, it's one way, for Ovtcharov, it's something different, you know, or for whoever, you know? So it's like...
Ovtcharov is just tanking it 100 miles per hour.
I think for sure.
With lots of noises.
But, you know, like, even, I don't know, people in practice, like, amateur players, you know, they kind of, like, I can just do what they do, but you need your own way, I think. Like, and we've talked to a lot of like players saying that, and like they've re-emphasized that. Like, no, you need to how do you work?
Yeah, but also your coach have to do it. Like as a player, sometimes you will not put yourself in the Like you will put yourself in the comfort zone and not out of it. And like, for example, sometimes we had practices, he will put the table like on purpose, not at the right position. I was like, yeah, but the table is not that. He said, I don't care, you have to play now.
The OCD starts kicking in.
And I was like, what? So he always give me kind of challenges to play with. And then I'm like, okay, let's do it again. Sure.
But I know you've got like a really close relationship with your coach. And obviously a lot of players do, but they don't necessarily have that. You need the right kind of relationship is what I'm getting at, right? So you have to have a coach who's willing to maybe go, you know what, I'm going to push you to the limit and know you as well as a person, because obviously some coaches are maybe, you know, fantastic coaches, but that's a different side of it, like the emotional, you know, getting into the mind of your player.
My coach and I, we are so opposite that it's really working well.
And it works, yeah.
It's great. Does your coach come with you to every tournament? And
at the moment, not anymore. Before, yes. But now, like if I got on a match, I ask him to analyze the same video I'm analyzing. And then we still talk about it. Like, okay, how would you do it? Or how do you think it? So it's nice that we can still analyze it. Yeah. Like with the players, they played more with the plastic balls. Like more innovative stuff are coming from the younger players. So when I was like pregnant, he said like, okay, watch the younger players. Like, why do I do this? And then you saw this Ojo from Japan making all this tomahawk already.
I was going to say,
she's amazing.
Yes, and then you saw her sister playing with a different grip.
Oh yeah, it's like claw.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, he's right. I have to watch the youth to learn new things. So
100%. I love watching. I think I was saying it to you yesterday. Like my favorite players to watch in the training hall out of everyone are the Japanese women.
For sure.
Oh,
but
it's so good.
So effective.
It's
like
so good.
I think I had in the beginning of my career, I wanted to be like playing perfectly, like the nice backhand, the nice forehand, and then everybody got my balls. Like, and then I played this Mori Sakura, and she had the racket like this, and she was everything playing like with the side spin in my forehand, and it was so effective. And then I said like, I need to be way more effective, see how I can use my game to be more effective. So I really like the Japanese game as well.
It's true though, like what you said, like I think a lot of players, again going back to like amateur players, they're obsessed with like looking good, but actually if it looks good and it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. Like
it still doesn't matter.
You could look like terrible, but you're putting the ball on the table and winning points. That's the most important.
But I had this love once in the Netherlands, like they had a coaching thing and they were looking at Timo's ball game, like what is wrong with his forehand? And I was like, really, are we gonna watch the top player looking what's wrong with his forehand? If it's so effective, it doesn't matter if it's wrong.
That's actually crazy.
Yes,
I don't think anyone can get
learn a lot from Timo. The spin, the contact. I reckon many players around the world have watched him to learn the contact.
Yeah, the contact is
contact's unbelievable.
Yes, I love this backhand with the backhand side.
Oh, it's amazing.
Especially outside
That's
to
what I
the
always
right
try to warm up with, don't I?
Yeah, I tried it as well, but against right, it doesn't work.
It's almost like a rescue shot. You're out of position. You're just like, you know, trying to sling it on. The rescue shot. We're talking about different styles and stuff. We had Sabine Winter on the show just before you. And yes, she's gone for the anti-spin on the backhand. Mixing it up.
Yes, after the podcast she had with you guys, I practiced with her, and she told me that she normally never hits the sides, and against me, she hit the sides. So she thinks the guys.
Oh no, she's never coming on the show ever again.
Yeah, that's it. That's our one and only podcast.
Sorry, Sabine.
But I really appreciate this. Like, I have really respect for, like, she's 31, 32, I don't know, and to keep innovating, to change her game. I like not everybody can do this or want to do this, so I have huge respect for even trying it.
Absolutely.
100%. It's a hell of a change as well. Like, it's pretty drastic.
Yeah,
right?
I said, like, I feel like sometimes in the women's table tennis they're like a little bit afraid to make mistakes, and to change your game you are gonna make mistakes. So I feel like, I really appreciate that you are willing to make mistakes, so go for it.
It's brave. We're like interested to see how she gets on, obviously.
I can't wait to watch.
Another German player, right? Nina.
Yeah.
Oh, really? She is? Oh,
I think so. So it could be interesting. That's quite hard for Nina, right? Oh, she's played Sabine a million times, and all of a sudden it's like a new player, someone totally different.
It's really different.
So that's quite hard.
Have you practiced against her?
I played her there, yes, because I was also like, okay, I want to see, like, how is it? How are you doing it? And my coach is like the Dr. Normbauer before. So I was like, okay, how does she does it, you know? But it was really nice also to see her enjoy it. But yes, I felt like I should play all the time. If I don't play, she will just kill the ball.
Yeah, that forehand.
Yes, with her forehand is amazing, yes.
Yeah, that's one of the effectiveness of it, is because she's got a good attack.
Yeah.
Can set up quite well.
And she can still like turn around, because I was just like, let me push the backhand, I will get this one. And then she turned around and boom.
Yeah.
So
because you're being cautious, I'm going to go to the ante, and then she just twiddles.
Yeah, so you're never sure what you're going to get. So I think this is really interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch.
Definitely.
Yes.
So Singapore Smash, obviously you haven't even started the matches here yet, but what's the rest of the year look like in terms of like tournament schedule?
So I'm happy to be here, to be in Singapore. And last year I had a great run. I think that was my first Grand Smash to come back after my pregnancy. So I felt a little bit of pressure, and now I'm like, I'm back again. Let's just enjoy it.
That's good. That's good mindset.
Yes, it is.
Really good. We always ask people on the show, if you could go back to your younger self, what would you give as advice to become a professional? Like, what was the contributing factor?
Yes. Yes, don't be afraid to be different. Like, and maybe it's like a cliche, but like in the beginning, many people told me like, oh, you will never be the pro athlete. If you practice like this, it will never do this. But with many things, in the end, they said this. Like, if I don't go to practice in another country, you will never be a profi. Or if you don't change your game, you will never be a professional. So all the time to get this kind of things, it also made me doubt. Like, oh, maybe this is too different. Or maybe we are trying it not the right way. Because what we said before, you have to find your own way. But because of this kind of comments, you are not willing to follow your way. You're just like, oh, I don't want to make a mistake, or I don't want to do this. So I was like really struggling with this in the beginning. And if I hadn't done that in the beginning, maybe I would be never further, but we don't know. For sure, some coaches would say, oh, if I went to China, I would be better. But but for me, it's like, it's okay. Just find your own way, and it's good enough.
It's great. And for amateur players out there, who are just trying to improve, like, what do you think is the best thing they can do to improve?
What's like the one quick fix, if you like? Not that there's such a thing, but
fixes,
no, of course. But the quickest fix, if you like.
I also feel like what you said earlier on, I kind of learned quite a bit. How you said you slow things down at the start to get the feeling.
It's already a good tip.
That's a fantastic tip, because I think a lot of people, great. Full credit for that one. No, that's wicked, because it makes sense, because I think it's very easy to go in too fast, and you see a lot of amateur players do that. I've fallen into that trap. You get frustrated. You're trying to force the ball on more. Just slow it down, feel the ball.
Yes, but I think almost the same though. Like again, like understand how the ball moves. Like sometimes I feel also like if somebody pushes and you want to make an opening, like the good spin, it always feels like the ball has to go like this bit over the net. But even though if you make a good spin and it goes higher over the net and it still jumps away, it's still a good spin. So like play with the ball, play with the height, play with the placement. It doesn't always have to be hard and strong. Like maybe you can put a little bit more outside or a bit other side. Like play with it, like sometimes high, sometimes deeper, sometimes shorter. Like if you play with the ball, you understand it better, and then in the end you can do more. So this is the sort of quick fix, because you still need to practice for it.
There's no, like you said, there's no quick fix in table tennis, but
no, I love that, because that makes you a lot more it gives you a lot more variety to your shots already.
Yeah, and then I think in the end you can also feel what you are more comfortable at. Like in the fast game, I can do it now, but I'm not really comfortable at it. I would prefer more to go away and play the big spins, but in some matches you cannot. But it's also good to find what you're comfortable with. And if you're playing with this, then you can see like, oh, this even fits my game way better, or this is better for me. Like it will become more personal.
Good tips.
Awesome.
Really good tips.
Yeah.
Still thinking about the quick fix though. I think if you do not want to do it off the court, like in the mental game, is still very important. And if you work also on your personality or how you handle with mistakes, these kind of things, if you even change this in your private life, this will also change at the table. So these are the quick fixes you can do even away from the table.
Yeah. Because we all say this, right? Table tennis is the most frustrating sport in the world.
Sure.
Right? But I feel like you've kind of got that handled in a way.
But because now I would say like I appreciate my work. I appreciate my hard working. And if I make a mistake and I have the right intention for the ball, I think if I had the right ball in my head, like I wanted to make a big spin high on table and I just missed it by close, like, oh, it was a good shot. It was a good ball. I had the right idea. I had the right intention. So why get angry, Like you did the right thing. So I feel always like if it's the right thing, I'm fine. If I would give up a match, then I would be angry with myself, because then I feel didn't do the right thing. But if I fight through playing my game, doing the things I want to do, then I'm happy, and that's why I always have the basic stuff before I play a game. Like this is the things I want to achieve, and if I've achieved that, even though without the score, I'm still happy.
It's strong.
Yes.
And I think a lot of sports psychologists say this, right? Focus on like the performance of what you need to try and achieve.
Also true.
And then don't think about the result. Think about like what performance you need, what tactics,
how to get to
that result.
In the Dutch we say that, but it's Dutch like puntjesspel. Like we have to play the point. But it's like one more point. But in the end, you cannot make this like the full game. Like every point is not just one more point. Like you have to play the game. Sometimes I still like enjoy the game, but like the mindset, the fight. So it's not only like, okay, if I'm fighting, I'm not enjoying. It's like enjoy the fight. Go into it, give everything, and then it's already good.
100%. I think some people do, like, they just love that, like, battle between the other players. Because table tennis is quite, like, not just a physical battle, it's like that mental battle with the opponent as well. Like, you're obviously, you're trying to impose your game. At the same time, they're like, okay, what's she doing here? I need to stop her doing that, you know? So it's always this, like, chess. Yes, so it's quite interesting, I think.
And this I love to play. Even though when I'm down, I still think, oh, but I can still play this, or I can still do this. Like, and then it brings me also fully into the game.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you come to a tournament like this, obviously Singapore, it's a long way from home.
It is.
Long flight, as we know. We got a serious jet lag from it. But like, do you have like a certain set schedule that you'll go, right, okay, I know the main draw is going to start roughly here. I need to be there 2 days. Or is it just like per event how you can organize it?
A little bit how I can organize it, of course. Also, it's stuff around at home. But normally I hadn't like China Smash. I just came one day before and I got sick, and I'm like, no, this was too much. Like, just the jet lag and getting sick. Like, I need a few days more. So we came now earlier, but also like already in advance to do the tournament. I'm also thinking like, okay, I played the Champions League. I did this and this in my game. So maybe the 1 week I still got, let's try taste this for Singapore Smash. And then also when I'm here, like the same at first training, I always do like, okay, let's feel the ball. And then I will see like, okay, the second training, let's do my style now. And then the third training, normally I know the draw, and then I adjust a little bit more to the draw I'm playing at. Yeah. So it's always like the small moments you check in with yourself. Okay, what do I need? What do I want? And every time, like, you keep playing chess with yourself.
Yeah.
What do you want?
That's the problem. Yes. It's chess with yourself and also the opponent sometimes. Yeah.
So yeah, but I keep looking at these things. Yes.
It's interesting because everyone has like a little bit different way of doing things, you know, when they come to these tournaments. So it's like, it's interesting for people to hear, like, okay.
Sure.
Yes, if somebody told me they go to the gym during tournament, I'm like, oh, you go to the gym?
Yeah. No, it's true though.
Stretching though, but I don't go to the gym during tournaments.
I was always the same. Like, if I'm playing like an event, I'm like, I'm not going to kill myself in the gym. I want to be like as fresh as I can. Yeah. But like some people like love to do that.
Normally I put always some nice music to get into the mental game before the match, to see also like, oh, am I focused on myself? Am I focused on the opponent? How do I want to do things? So I always focus on the mental game before the match.
So that's running through your head before a match?
Yeah.
Yeah? So
it's like I've heard like football coaches talk before and there's sometimes where like managers will organize their team in a certain way and they're like, we want to play like this, and they don't think too much about the opponent. And it's the same in table tennis. Some players, like, how much would you weigh it to like what I need to do, and how much do you think about the opponent? Or maybe it depends.
It also depends again, like the chess play again, like if I'm playing really well and I feel the game really good, my body is good, then I say, okay, I focus a little bit more on the opponent. But then I'm like, oh, but I don't hit the ball, I don't feel the hull. Then I would say, okay, I don't look at the opponent at all. I go back to myself. So that's why I say every time, almost every day, few hours you check in, like, okay, how am I feeling? Is everything right? If it's okay? But during the game or before the game, I'm really looking at, okay, how nervous am I? Is it fine? Is it okay? Do I have intrusive thoughts? Because sometimes you have like, oh, I want to win. Like, Britt, I know you want to win. It's fine. Just fight, you know? Like with this kind of thing.
It's like the devil and angel like on the shoulders.
Yes, and in the end, you should not fight too much, because if you fight with them, it gets even bigger. So like, oh, calm down. It's fine. Just do this. So I'm always trying to go back to the basics.
Yeah, yes. No, that's good. I think that's a really good tip for players, actually, because some players might just take the same approach all the time. And actually, it's kind of like you're saying, you need to check in with yourself. Like, okay, maybe I'm more stressed today. Maybe I'm chilled. I can think about what I need to do more. You know.
But now, like, even with the baby, it's even more, because I think a few days before we were traveling, I was a little bit stressed, and Saya, my daughter, she was doing something like, oh, you're so annoying. Like, no, Britt, you're just stressed. She's not annoying. You are. So they also check you in, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. You know, when you play a game and that you can feel nervous, and I think a lot of players fall into this. I feel you've got a lot of good tips, so it's good to pick your brain. So when you feel nervous, what do you do to try and get out of that?
Accept it, because what I say, of course you get nervous. If you don't get nervous, then you have a bigger problem. So so that's good. And always keep it easy. Like the most difficult things that you can do, you already did in a training. You don't have to play the ball around the net during the game. Keep it easy, keep it simple, especially if you're like tense. Like, I always feel like if I'm tensed up, it's really difficult for me to make a short serve, because it's like the small muscle movements. So if I'm tense, I feel like, okay, better make a long serve, because these are the bigger muscles.
Right, okay.
So this is also in the game, like, okay, if I make the bigger strokes when I'm nervous, this is like the bigger muscles again, so I can move better. And then
loosen up a bit.
Yeah, loosen up a bit. So also during the points, you see me doing like sometimes the jumps and sometimes the moving again. Like, let's go. I want to feel my body. We have to move again. So this is more if I like get nervous and stuff. And I have a small trick. Like I put some perfume in my towels because if you use your senses, like if you blowing in your fingers, it brings you back to the here and now. And I also put the perfume in my towel to smell it. Then I'm like, it smells nice. I'm back.
Fascinating.
So
we've not heard that tip before. That's a new one.
So I try to use my senses as well. So always use my body and go back to the senses I have.
No, that's a good one. And it's so important because it's even the very best players in the world, doesn't matter who you are, nerves can get you.
They will get you, yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's what the best in the world do. They perform at the
I had this
biggest
before,
stage.
like when I became better or had a good ranking, I felt like, I can never be the underdog now. Like there are only people under me and I have to win now. And I was really a little bit sad that I cannot be the underdog because I was really good at it. And then during 1 year, I was like, I'm never going to get this feeling. I'm never going to get a feeling. And I was like, okay, but find the pressure. Try to play under this. And then I achieved to play good under this kind of pressure. I'm like, this is even more fun. Like, I have so much pressure and I can still play. I can still do what I want. Like, this is also a really nice feeling too, that you can do this, to achieve this.
It's also important, I think, like your training group or training partners, like to be in an environment where you feel comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, I'm going to go to the best training center. I'm going to go here in Germany or Sweden or whatever. And then, it's maybe amazing training, but you're not, if you don't feel home, you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
This is, I think, for me, what I've found is like really important to feel like totally yourself in practice and in training.
Yes. Or like I went to Wenneslager and it was mostly German coaches there, and I had to practice so many forehands. Like, okay, like one training is fine, but all the time.
I'm
a
backhand player.
Come on. So sometimes, even though you said it was a good center, there were good coaches, but the style of practicing, I felt the focus was on different points that I needed to perform or to feel even good, because sometimes I think it's also good to play exercises you're good at, not only what you're bad at. So, and I felt like, only forehand. Like, come on, I want to feel good as well. 100%. So yes, I think this is also important.
Yeah, people don't practice their strengths enough. Yeah, which is a really good tip, because that's what you're going to try and use the most in games if you're not practicing it.
Yeah, true as well.
All right, no, that was awesome. Thanks so much for your time joining us on the podcast. Great to have you.
Thank you too. It was nice indeed.
No, we're looking forward to watching your matches out here, and great to see you on the tour.
Yes,
and,
me too. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. You too, guys.
Let's go. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out WTT Singapore Smash in the links below to the WTT website. You can check out Britt on Instagram as well. You can follow her. Yeah, thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to TTDCast as well on YouTube and Spotify.
Do that.
See you soon, guys.
Legend. Cheers, Britt.
Cheers.
So there we go, guys. Great fun chatting to Britt there at Singapore Smash. Now, coming up soon is the WTT Champions Chongqing event out in China. It's going to be another great event, and you'll be able to catch Britt out in action there too. Now, we'll also be there creating more podcasts and behind-the-scene content. Be sure to grab your tickets in the links below.
The city where the lights are bright.
The hot pot are spicy.
Spicy.
好啦 and the action is intense.
That is insane, ladies and gentlemen.
The champion season starts here.
And this is massive.
Get your
Tickets now. Get your tickets now.
See you in Chongqing.
Let's go.